Welcome. Glad you could join us for this deep dive.
Yeah, good to be diving in.
So today we're taking a look at something pretty interesting happening with online worship.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, what the Shropshire and Merches Methodist Circuit is up to.
Huh.
We've pulled together stuff from their website, the online worship bit, the news section, and there's a blog post from Richard Hall. He's a minister involved.
Ah, okay. The person behind some of the tech, maybe?
Looks like it, yeah. And we've also got the actual online service they put out for April 27th, 2025.
Gotcha. So the source material is quite specific.
It is. And our mission really is just to understand this different approach they're taking. It's flexible, self-guided worship online, what makes it tick.
And why it matters, yeah.
Exactly. Now, you listening might know loads about online church or maybe Methodism, or maybe none of this rings a bell.
That's fine. We'll cover it.
Yeah, we'll explore it together. What really grabbed me was this shift, moving away from scheduled Zoom services we all got used to.
The pandemic staple.
Right. Towards something that's just there, always available. You do it on your own time, self-paced.
And that shift is, I think, the crucial point here. The thinking behind it.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't just, we need an online presence. It feels more like they're trying to craft an experience, something that fits different needs, different schedules.
Yeah, not just a broadcast.
No. It's rethinking how a church community can exist in people's lives day to day. Not just fixed events, but a resource you can tap into. Could be a model for others, really.
Definitely. And looking at their website, the Circuit site,
Yeah.
They do say, maybe online numbers aren't what they were right at the peak.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, but they're still really committed to this online ministry idea.
Good. So it wasn't just a temporary fix for them.
Doesn't seem like it. And the big reason for this new style, it seems to be about offering a genuine alternative. For people who just, can't make that 10:30 Sunday morning slot.
The traditional time, yeah.
Yeah.
Life gets in the way for lots of folks.
Totally. And they wanted, like you said, more than just a recording you passively watch.
Right. So, okay, we get the why. Flexibility, continued ministry, something more than passive viewing. What about the what? What is this self-guided thing like?
Okay, so according to their site, it's meant to feel familiar, like a traditional Methodist service and structure.
Get familiar elements that
Yeah,
help.
but the big difference, the key thing is you're driving. You're in control.
Ah, okay. Active, not passive.
Exactly. And this is where it gets really practical. They spell it out. You can skip hymns if you want.
Really? Just skip.
Yeah. Or if you love one, repeat it. Pause whenever you need to for prayer, for reflection. It's tailored by you in the moment.
That's quite a departure.
Yeah.
Giving the user that much control over a liturgy almost.
It is. But the core bits are there. Hymns, prayers, a short reflection based on Bible readings, and even prompts for further thought.
So structure but flexibility within it.
Precisely. And they plan to update it weekly, usually Saturday night or Sunday morning. It goes live.
That wrinkly update keeps it fresh, doesn't it? Stops it feeling like an archive.
Yeah, keeps it connected to the rhythm of the week, even if you're doing it Monday afternoon.
Mm-hmm. Maintains that sense of current community life.
Ah,
Okay, so that's the what. How are they actually doing this? The technology side.
right, the how. And this brings us back to Richard Hall's blog post.
Okay.
He talks about using a tool .reveal.js. Does that mean anything to you?
Vaguely. It's a presentation framework, isn't it? For making slide decks, but often using web technologies, like HTML.
That sounds right. He said he'd had good experiences using it for online presentations, like on Zoom. Found it more reliable, maybe.
Could be. Some presentation software gets clunky over screen shares. Using something web-based might be smoother.
And he mentions, sort of as a personal preference, he likes working with plain text in the terminal.
Ah, a coder's approach.
Mm.
More control, maybe less fuss than graphical interfaces for some tasks.
Yeah, that's the vibe. So he thought, hey, could I use this reveal.js thing to make a self-guided worship service? Something you just access on a web page anytime.
Interesting. Taking a presentation tool and repurposing it for worship. That's creative.
Yeah.
Thinking outside the box with existing tech.
Definitely. He said it wasn't a huge technical leap because he was already prepping service content, recording bits. It was more about structuring it in this interactive web page format.
Gotcha. Adapting the delivery method.
But he's put his first attempt out there. He's quite open, says it might have rough edges at revrichard.github.io online-worship.
Okay. Publicly available.
Yeah, and he's asking for feedback. And here's the cool part. The main Shropshire and Merches Circuit website, They link directly to that address on their online worship page.
Oh, wow. So it's not just a side project. This circuit has officially adopted it, or at least is featuring it prominently.
Seems that way, yeah.
Yeah.
Like his initiative got picked up.
That's a great example of innovation bubbling up. Okay, so shall we walk through the experience using that April 27th example?
Let's do it. So you go to the webpage. It starts simple. A welcome message, some background music playing, sets a nice tone.
Pre-service atmosphere. Okay.
Then the hymns. Verse 1 is Alleluia, Alleluia, give thanks to the risen Lord. They even give the number, STF 295.
STF, Singing the Faith, the Methodist Hymn Book. Good detail for those familiar.
Right. And crucially, it says press play for audio or video. So multimedia integration right there.
Interactive, not just text.
Then another hymn, To God Be the Glory, STF 94. Same deal, press play.
Okay, so hymns with audio-video options. What's next?
Prayers, and then the Lord's Prayer, standard elements.
Familiar flow?
Then the Bible readings. First, Revelation 1, verses 4 to 8. You get those big lines, grace to you and peace, and I am the Alpha and the Omega.
Powerful stuff from Revelation. Cosmic scale.
Yeah. And then it shifts to John's Gospel, chapter 20, verses 19 to 31. This is the one with Jesus appearing to the disciples.
After the resurrection. Thomas's doubt.
Exactly. Peace be with you, Thomas sang, my Lord and my God. And Jesus' response, blessed are those who have not seen and yet have come to believe.
That's a really potent combination of readings. Grand vision, and then a very personal human encounter with doubt and faith. You can see how that would lead into reflection.
Totally. Gives you a lot to chew on. After the readings, another hymn. I know that my Redeemer lives, STF 303, and then the reflection part.
Okay, so not quite a sermon.
Doesn't seem like a long sermon, no. It's more thoughtful questions. Based on those readings, it actually says, take time to consider them.
Prompts for personal engagement. What kind of questions?
Good ones, actually.
Yeah.
Like, where in my life do I long for peace? Or what wounds do I carry and what healing do I hope for?
Wow, quite direct and personal.
Yeah. Another was, when has God met me where I was, not where I should have been?
Ooh, I like that one. Acceptance, grace.
And how can I witness this week, not with words, but with my life? Really makes you think about applying it.
That's brilliant. It moves beyond just listening to active personal reflection. That's a key difference from just watching a video sermon, isn't it?
Absolutely, and invites you in.
Yeah.
After that, there are prayers for the world, the church, people in need. Keeps that outward focus.
Connecting the personal reflection back to the wider community and world. Good.
Then the final hymn, Forth in thy name, O Lord, I go. STF 550. Feels like a sending out,
A commissioning, almost. Okay. Wraps it up nicely.
And it ends with a blessing, plus reminders about the weekly updates and asking for feedback again.
So the whole structure really mirrors a traditional service, but with these interactive, reflective pauses built in.
Exactly. And they make the navigation super clear. There's a navigation help section.
Oh, that's smart. What does it say?
Explains using keyboard arrows or swiping on touch screens or clicking screen arrows to move slide to slide.
Okay, multiple ways to navigate. Accessible.
Yeah, and you can hit X to see all the slides at once, like an overview.
Yeah.
Or F for full screen. They specifically mention these help with accessibility.
That's really thoughtful, considering different user needs and tech comfort levels.
And the tone on the main circuit website, it's just so welcoming. They actually say, and I love this quote, there are no cookies, no signups, and no tracking.
Wow. No data harvesting.
Yeah.
Refreshing.
Isn't it? And then you're very welcome to sneak in at the back and duck out before anyone notices you.
That's brilliant. Takes all pressure off. Come as you are. Engage as you feel comfortable.
Totally. No barriers, no pressure, just an open door.
That lack of friction, that psychological safety is probably a huge factor in making something like this work for people who might be hesitant. Really smart.
So pulling it all together, what are the big takeaways here? What makes this stand out?
Well, I think it's that blend, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's taking familiar elements of traditional Methodist worship.
The structure, the hymns.
And marrying them with genuine on-demand accessibility and user control.
Yeah.
Using pretty simple web tech, reveal.js, in a clever way.
It's not replacing the in-person gathering.
No, they seem clear about that. It's an expansion, an adaptation to how people live now. Different needs, different schedules.
And thinking about you, listening, as someone interested in learning, exploring, this format seems really suited to different styles, doesn't it?
Absolutely. If your schedule's packed, you fit it in. If you're maybe just exploring faith, you can do it privately, at your own speed.
Right. Or if you're someone who really likes to mull things over, you can pause on those reflection questions, repeat a hymn that speaks to you.
That ability to pause, revisit, reflect, that's powerful for deeper engagement. It respects the individual's pace.
It taps into that desire we all have, I think, to learn and connect without feeling rushed or overwhelmed.
Exactly. You choose the depth, you choose the pace. It's taking established, meaningful content and delivering it in a genuinely modern, user-centric way. Very thoughtful.
So wrapping up this deep dive, maybe the final thought to leave you with is this. As our world gets more digital, how are different communities, religious, social, educational, adapting?
It's a big question.
Yeah. How are they using technology not just to replicate old forms, but to create genuinely new ways for people to connect, to belong, to learn based on today's realities?
This Shropshire and Marches experiment feels like one really interesting answer to that question. Blending tradition and tech to meet people where they are.
Definitely gives you something to think about. Thanks for exploring this with us today.
Yeah, fascinating stuff. Until next time.